Hello ladies and gentlemen, RP2 Vision would like to welcome you to another edition of AEW Dynamite Recap Show. Without further ado, here's your host, Ronald Ray.
Hello, ma'ams and sirs, and thank you for tuning in to this week's AEW Dynamite Recap. I am Ronald Ray, your boy with a cornbread accent. And as you can see, and hopefully by the audio, you can tell I'm in my home amateur studio. Uh, thank you, Mother Nature. Anyway, this week's AEW Dynamite takes place at the FLA Live Arena in Sunrise, Florida. But before we get started, want you to be a champ? Click on that subscribe button. Now, with that out of the way, let's let it rip. And this week, they start off with what they do best: bring the action first and foremost. Not no WWE esque 30-minute promo. They started off with a match. This one is for the AEW International Championship. Orange Cassidy against Bandito. They started off with Bandito not having none of Orange Cassidy's.
Hello, ma'ams and sirs, and thank you for tuning in to this week's AEW Dynamite Recap Show. I'm Ron Ray, your boy with a cornbread accent, and I still can't find anybody to push me around in the hotel cart. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll leave a link at the end of the video on my WWE Raw Recap Show, and I'll talk a little bit more about it. Anyway, even though I can't find nobody to push me around in the cart, you can be a champ and do me a solid and click that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber yet. Now that junk's out of the way, let's let her rip. This week's Dynamite takes place at the Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. And kicking things off is a double jeopardy match between the Blackpool Combat Club's Claudio Castagnoli, who is the Ring of Honor World Champion, going against Lucha Brothers' Rey Fenix. Now, this is a double jeopardy match, meaning if Rey Fenix wins, he gets a shot at Claudio's Ring of Honor World Championship. If Claudio wins, he gets to pick a partner, and they get a chance at Rey Fenix's and Penta's Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship. Hopefully y'all don't hear that. I'm like right by the highway, so somebody just kicked in her little motorcycle there. Anyway, pretty good match here. Back and forth in the beginning, Claudio would use his size and strength to take the advantage. Phoenix would come back, putting on a clinic on how to do hurricanranas. Any kind of spinning hurricanrana or anything like that. At one point, they were outside, and he hopped on the barricade, walked the barricade, and hit a hurricane on Claudio. Claudio would get the upper hand again, and of course, during this time, it's picture advantage. And of course, we come back from a commercial break to get a comeback from Phoenix. They exchange counters, near falls, but in the end, Claudio would beat Phoenix down with elbow strikes, then pin him after a cross-arm powerbomb. So Claudio wins this match. That means he gets to pick a partner and go after the Lucha Brothers Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship. Next up, we have FTR coming to the ring to cut a promo, but as soon as they start talking, here comes Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, along with their, Sanjay Dutt and that one big dude. I forgot his name. Sorry about that. But anyway, they laid it down a challenge. Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal did. They wanted shot the AEW World Tag Team Championship. Mark Briscoe made his way to the ring, said, look, yes, y'all going to do this, and I'm going to be a special referee. Mark Briscoe brought down, I believe, either some bourbon or some whiskey to settle everybody down, but, Sanjay Dutt took a sip and spit it right in Dax Harwood's face, temporarily blinding him, which, of course, during the melee, he will wind up accidentally pile driving Mark Briscoe. So, a lot of sinky teeth in there, I believe. Um, After that, we get a backstage interview with Chris Jericho, who says he has his lawyers ban Adam Cole from the building if Chris Jericho is there. Here comes Roderick Strong saying, "Hey, don't call my buddy a coward. You're a coward, and if you're not a coward, I'm challenging you for a fight, uh, a falls count anywhere fight." And Jericho says, "Sure, let's do this." And Roddy was like, "Oh, hey, I got my lawyers too. During our match, the JAS is banned from the arena as well. So next week will be Chris Jericho against Roderick Strong in a no or falls count anywhere fight." All right, next match is for the International Championship, and it was probably the best match of the night. The champion Orange Cassidy went up against Daniel Garcia. I said good chain wrestling. Cassidy got the hands in the pocket antics sequence in. That's always pleases the crowd. Garcia with a picture-in-picture advantage, working on the back and leg. Superplex by Garcia, float over, but Cassidy countered. Looked like it was looking for either a stunner or a cutter. That didn't look too pretty, but the announcers, play-by-play guys, kind of did a good job of covering that up. Garcia would counter an orange punch with a drop kick to the knees. After that, Garcia went into the series of submission holds. Couldn't get Orange Cassidy tap out. Cassidy fought out of that. Exchanged cradles and near falls, with Cassidy scoring a winning pinfall using the crucifix. So, like I said, this is a very good match. Orange Cassidy, in my opinion, is becoming one of those dudes that as soon as you see him in a match, it's going to be a good match. So, and of course, that's just my opinion. Then we get a Christian interview. He basically answers the question, why do you automatically get a title shot? And he states that, hey, when you're Christian Cage, you've won as many world titles as I have. The only thing he has to do is go into TK's office and ask for a shot. Then he goes into people having daddy issues. Crowd gave it to Christian pretty good, so didn't nobody want to hear him. But not the kind of I'm just not feeling this program right now. Speaking of people entering Tony Khan's office, earlier tonight they had Miro come in, and he went into Tony Khan's office. Don't know why. Later on, Thunder Rosa came in, and she went to Tony Khan's office. And of course, I'm going to go ahead and spoil it for you here. There's going to be a big announcement next week by Tony Khan. He explained it. He's like, oh, I got all this talent, his contracted talent, 2 of them, coming to his office, shoot the crap, and that's because he's got a big announcement. And the big announcement is they apparently got a big deal through Warner Brothers Discovery, and they're going to have a new show. So, surprise. Of course, if you've been reading the things online and stuff like that, you pretty much know that. Next is a no-holds-barred match between Julie Hart of the House of Black going against Anna Jay of the Jericho Appreciation Society. Apparently, they used to be best friends. Now they don't like each other. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, folks, I did not care for this match at all. Anna Jay came in and as Julia Hart was making her way to the ring, Anna hit her with a chair, and then Hart bounced back, slammed Jay against a barricade, exchanged kendo strikes, blah, 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 picture-in-picture chop, slap, exchange, a couple of 3-count near falls on Julia Hart. Julia Hart would then superplex Anna Jay into the rings of Saturn, and thank goodness it was over. Anna Jay taps out. I hate to be cruel, but you remember when back in the Divas era before the women's revolution in WWE, uh, back in the day, if you want to see a good women's match, you turn it to uh, TNA Impact to see the knockouts. And basically, it was for every Lita, there was 5 Tori Wilsons. I mean, Tori Wilson, hot and all, but she ain't giving you a good match. So basically, yeah, this would be the equivalent of 2 regular divas having a weapons match. And don't get me wrong, pleasure on the eyes, but that's about it. This match wasn't eye appealing at all. But like I said, thank God they ended it when they did. All right, next up, it was the Best Amigos, as they call themselves. The Best Friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta with Bandito, going up against the House of Black, trying to gain those World Trios Championship. Basically, this was the House of Black taking care of business here. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask, read a text, talk to you people, read a text, talk to you people. Anyway, yes, the House of Black, Brody King, Buddy Murphy, Malachi Black. This match started off with Black against Bandito. A little feeling out, but Black got the upper hand. Forgot to mention this was. I really forgot. I should have wrote it down. The house rules match, whatever, or dealer's choice, something like that. Basically, no rope breaks. 20 count if you're outside the ring instead of the 10 count. And the challenger gets to pick, if it's a no DQ or whatever. I guess the Best Friends didn't quite understand that. And Chuck Taylor was like, look, we've seen the witch walking down the ring. No witches in the match. Talking about Julia Hart. But yeah, like I said, Bandito learned the hard way. There's no rope breaks. But he was able to slide outside the ring to break the hold. Did a little triple team on Black. That's basically the only highlight for the Best Friends. Picture in picture, House of Black ass whooping to the Best Friends. In the end, Dante Inferno and Chuck Taylor was still the win, and your new tag team, or still your tag team champions, is the House of Black. What can you say? They're badass. I was always pretty high on Malachi Black when he was it Aleister Black and WWE. Pardon my language. Just thought he was badass. Buddy Murphy was pretty high on him too. Especially when we broke away, he was when he was a cruiserweight champion. Didn't know too much about Brody King. Maybe seen a couple little things from when he was in Independence, but wasn't that impressed. But now I'm definitely impressed. That Big House is a monster. But yeah, House of Black taking care of business. All right, time for your main event. It is the Elites, Kenny Omega, going against the Blackpool Combat Club's John Moxley. I would do the whole John Moxley, but like I said, I got NPR voice. Now for the jazzy tunes of this match. It was a cage match, main events, on free TV. Pay-per-view quality match, pay-per-view quality card. Pretty much free on TV. They started out. Everybody started fighting outside the cage. The Elite, the BCC, whooping up on each other. Then Omega and okay, that's getting annoying, ain't it, guys? Sorry about that. But I still got to tone down my voice a little bit. Anyway, Omega and Moxley finally get in the ring, exchange forearms, chops. Omega got the advantage. He pulled a chair out with barbed wire, made Moxley bleed. Then Brian Danielson, hey, Moxley don't get started till he's bleeding. And he's starting to get a bad reputation about that now, where he wants to bleed on every match. But being a child of the 80s wrestling, if it's a cage match, somebody's got to bleed. Old school all the way. Anyway, Moxley would start. I guess he was ready to. I guess he was playing ring crew guy. Started taking down the ring ropes. Of course, we'll get some picture-in-picture as John Moxley is using the turnbuckle hook as a fish hook in Omega's mouth. And choked him with the cables. Omega would counter with a sleeper, then a backdrop on the broken glass. They exchanged slaps, knee trigger through the cage. They went right through the cage, or not through, but the cage in a perfectly square area of this cage. This went down like that. Come on, guys, how that whole side fall down? Okay, I can understand why they didn't do that, but anyway, it did look cool. Been better if it was on pay-per-view. Or a house show. You're doing house shows now. Anyway, let me continue here. Anyway, Moxley gets the advantage again, grabs a screwdriver, was about to hit Omega, but here comes Don Callis to the rescue. He grabbed it, took it away from Moxley. Then Omega got Moxley up. One winged angel. 1, 2. Bam! Callis nails Omega with a screwdriver. 1, 2, 3. Your winner is John Moxley. So yeah, that was a big swerve. They were teasing that a little bit, but wasn't too surprised. But hey, it worked out pretty well. Like I said, this is you shouldn't be giving away these matches free on TV. I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and butt in here. You know, on the WWE one, like I said, watch it. I'll leave it at the end for you to click on to watch. I made fun of Dominic Mysterio, so let me make fun of Tony Kahn. Aren't you doing at least house shows now? Couldn't this match be done at a house show? You show the ending where Callis turned. That way, hey, you know, if you don't make it to a house show, things you might miss. Old school stuff, dude. Come on. Be the alternative. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Usually I do like a separate conclusion, but I'm kind of doing it at the end of this match because I'm just felt like I was on the roll there. Decent little show. I mean, it wasn't as good as biscuits and gravy, but it'll do. Of course, another thing during the course of the match, or during the course of the show, the 4 Pillars did little hype videos for their big, Double or Nothing pay-per-view main event, in which they will fight each other for the AEW World Championship. Of course, your 4 Pillars are Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, and the AEW World Champion, Maxwell Jacob Freeman, MJF. I'm kind of sort of hyped on what they come up with this for the Wembley show. I mean, I am glad they're able to sell some tickets on that one. Again, folks, I'm a fan. If I knock something, I'm just doing it as a fan. You take it with a grain of salt, and then the rest with penicillin. I don't care. But anyway, like I said, wasn't as good as grits and gravy, but it'll do. Until then, you folks have a good one and take it easy.
We here at RP Tube Vision would like to thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Also check out friends of the show Ecolife and Natural for home-crafted candles, hand cloth, and other home and personal goods. Look them up on Facebook. Link will be available below the video. That is Ecolife and Natural.